Thank you and welcome back to another segment. My name is Dennis Duke Wonyala. If you haven't watched the other segments, please go back to my channel. Trust me, we've talked about how to manage a big goat farm. We've talked about how this gentleman transitioned from being employed to self-employed to becoming an entrepreneur and actually creating a lot more job opportunities in a country like Uganda that is grappling with high youth unemployment. By the way, let him introduce himself to you because I love it that way.
Yeah, I'm Hamis Semanda, again a farmer in Kayunga district.
Let's make business sense out of it. Is it a viable business that I can actually invest my money in? And we're actually going to make a few calculations just to show you if it is viable or if it's not.
I would really advise people to go into this. It is the business that can make you rich in a shorter period of time. It is a business that can make you really feel at peace when you're doing your business. Because there is a lot of things that we are looking at when we are doing goat farming or when we are doing farming. You have to look at the project that makes you comfortable. You have to look at the business that doesn't make pressure on you. I don't know about goats, rabbits, if they also give you pressure, because in terms of feeding, you know, you have to buy feeds, you have to buy what, like the chicken people, like the piggery. People always need to feed those animals on your feed. It is not the case like our case. If you have land, you don't need to invest in the nutrition, like maybe feeding your animals so much, unless if your land, the land you have is in a bad area, whereby the pastures which are there are not nutritious, or the pastures that you have there are not very good. There you will need to plant some pastures to supplement. If you have bigger land, you don't need to plant. Or you can only have some pastures for supplementary. But for us who are doing maybe semi-intensive, it's just a matter of planting your grasses, then you keep harvesting and you give to your animals. So it is a viable project in which way? Because when you look at the growth rate of an animal, I think Dennis Duke will show you my animals, they weigh up to 120 kg.
You're already seeing them on the screen.
Yes. So they are weighing over 120 kgs live weight. So if a goat of a year is weighing 120 or 2 years, how do you tell me that it's not viable? Because we have 3 markets right now. And I want to tap all of them. 1 is a breeding market. 2 is a slaughter market. 3 is this restaurant. It's also another business. Slaughter, I mean when you sell to people who are going to slaughter, like the abattoir guys. Food business is when Hamis is having a grill and he is slaughtering for himself. Those are 3 businesses. But all in all, what affects our business is the word management, as the way I have talked about. Management, nutrition, and genetics. We might have animals which are not growing faster, but you have a good management and they have a very good feed. You might have a good manager and good genetics, but nutrition is bad. You're not going to make business. But this business is very good if you do all that in quart. Like doing good management, doing good feeding, like having good genetics, things move properly. Me, I will say at my end, it is properly done because I follow the procedures. These diseases that comes in and disorganize people, it's because those people don't follow the procedures of vaccination and then management. But the moment you do all that, this is a business that gives you money that you can't even believe. Just take an example. If I buy an animal, a male goat at 3 million, then I give it 50 females. When I buy an animal today and I take it to my farm, I advise you to take it to the quarantine. If you take it to the quarantine for 2 months to get used to the environment, then supplement it with some vitamins for better metabolism and getting adapted to the environment. You also provide some antibiotics for that case. After that period, they are bred by the male that you bought 3 million. Let's say, even bought females at 500,000. So that's around 28 million. If you look at these other costs like housing and so, let's say you have invested 30 millions. Then those animals are bred. The gestation period of this animal is 5 months, and you produce the first lot. That means you're going to produce kids which are around 87. Their growth rate is high.
From how many females?
50 females.
Oh, 50, yes.
So you're getting over 70 or 50 kids, which are 87. When we look at the business of breeding, each goat you're producing there is going to be 500,000 or 400, let me say. You get it? So you do the 50 goats times 500,000. You get? That's money that you can get. But remember, if a goat produces today, after 18 to 21 days, if all condition is good, feeding, management, and good genetics, it is going to be bred after 18 to 21 days. If maximum it has prolonged, the second month it will come on heat. That means in the period of 12 months, you're receiving 2 babies. But the first baby, by the time you receive a second baby,
this one will be almost a year.
Ready. Yeah, it'll be around 7,
or rather around
7 months or 8. So that means it's good to be sold. If you're selling on the market of breeding, just know that you have gotten 50 kids or 70 kids, and they are ready to be sold at the end of the year at 500,000 or 800,000. Let's say 500,000 because we bought the mothers at 500,000. So that means you already have your 25 millions. You get it? But remember, you're going to produce.
The
you have the initial stock, and you have another new group that you have produced, which is also another 50. So by the time you produce a third group, if you didn't sell the female, and you only sold
the males, it means you'll also be breeding them, and
at
then
the same time,
multiplication, and then so forth and so forth and so on.
Instead of producing 50 for the third time, you also, let's say if the first production 50 were half 25 females, 25 males, that means you have 25 also to be bred at the third time and produced with the mother. So instead of receiving 50 kids,
you receive probably like 75.
So you get it. So if you want to dispose, you have 75 on board. So that is how the business makes sense. So if you take those rounds like for 2 years out of the 50 goats, so instead you might be even having over 300 kids to sell. And if you sell it at 500,000, that's 150 million. Isn't that a viable business? I would like Mr. Joke to tell me that if I invest 30 millions, in 2 years I get over 150 millions, when even I still have my stock that I bought 28 millions, which kind of other business would I go for?
Definitely no one.
So that is one market of breeding. And the market of breeding is still standing. Why? We are many. If you call goat farmers in the country, very many will come. Even those that have 50, even those that have 10. Because they are farmers and they're dealing in goat farming. But actually, me on my side, I might not consider them to be very good goat farmers.
Why?
And I also don't consider myself being a goat farmer. Because I belong to the Pearl of Africa, the country that produces grass as frequent as possible, but we don't utilize it. The smallest farmer in my country would at least have over 6,000 goats. And that is my dream. If I could make 6,000 goats, that is over 4 billions in my stock. Just imagine, Duke, if I have my goats which are worth 4 billions, reproducing after 5 months. Do you know how rich I would be?
Wow. So,
in actual sense, it is a business that we would go into. But we are very many in the country, but we're having very small number of animals. That's why when I was giving you an average number, I told you 50. This business runs with numbers. Because a person handling 50 goats is the same person that you're using to handle your 10 goats.
And you're paying
him, the equal amount of money. And you're even paying him the equal amount of posho and beans.
True.
So, in actual sense, I want people to understand that this is a viable project that people are minimizing. The only problem we have is that some people have not understood that this is a really viable project. And some of people that have gotten money out of it, they don't mention They
They're
keep
always
quiet.
Keep quiet, yeah, true.
You get it? That's why we are not accumulating a lot of animals. And most of the farmers that have maybe 200 goats, maybe 300, most of them are locals. If you have a local, to get your profit out of a local, you need over 3.5 years to have a 75 out of a pure local hybrid, Muvende, and a pure hybrid Savannah Oboa. To bring out a 75 fully grown, you need over 3.5 years or 2.5 years.
Serious rotation.
You get it? Because you have to do a lot of breeding. So most of us, I will not put myself out, most of us have local goats. And you know what? We are starving for the 3.5 years for a goat to be paid 150,000 shillings.
Wow.
What do I mean? The market we have for breeding, it is still rampant. So we need more people to do breeding. After almost all of us getting into breeding, then we are going to look at another market called slaughter market. The slaughter market, I'll give you a debrief, just a simple briefing about it. You very well know the places that sells goat's meat in a country. The most dominant known place is Kombozi, Gayaza Road. They give you a piece at 5,000. So 3 pieces makes a quarter. You are not aware that you're eating a quarter at 15,000 15,000 Uganda shilling.
The dollar rate is at 3,600 right now, somewhere there. If in case you want to change and get to know it in your currency,
please try and do that. They are eating that at that much, 15,000. So that means you're eating a kilo at 60,000. You get it? So that is how far the slaughter market is. You get it? What do I do? If those animals, the ones that we have produced, let's say 50 goats, in 2 years we are having over 150 or 200 goats out of the 50 in 2 years, and we are selling them, let's say, at these people who just buy and take. They depend on the weight. If my animal of 2 years, I think you have seen them really in my heavy video, those of 4 years, they are worth 20 kilos. So that means if we slaughter them, they can give me 10 kilos. So if I sell my goats at 8 months and they have around 50 kilos or 40 kilos, they are giving me meat 20 kilos. So somebody can't fail to give me 200,000. Let's just imagine we have started with 25 or 30 millions and we have offsprings of over 300 goats in 2 years, and we are selling each at 200,000. Isn't that over 60 millions?
True.
You get it? So the 38 millions is giving me 60, the 30 millions is giving me 60 millions in 2.5 years. Divide that by the number of months, which are 24, and know how much money you are getting. Remember, we have not sold the old stock. We are always selling what we have produced. Isn't that a viable project?
Definitely it is.
You get it? Then there is a market that Hamis is going into. I have built my cafe. I've built a garden.
Okay.
And I'm doing, there is a garden, there is a cafe, but my main aim is a grill.
Where people can go.
Where people can go. If you want to have a blast of goat's meat, that's where you have to go. You will see meat in all kind of feeding, in all kind of cooking. Me, my aim now is aiming to employ, I've employed many illiterate people. I've employed the literate people. I'm now going to employ the chefs and those beautiful girls that are really going to serve my people. So at my garden, this is my take. Duke have showed you the unit where I'm going to put my feedlot for goats. I win my animals at 3 months. Then after winning them at 3 months, I'm going to feedlot them for 3 months so that they can attain up to 60 kilos. If they do 60 kilos, meat I might have around 30. Or let me say I'm getting 20 kilos out of them. I'm going to put all kind of making. They will do whole meat. They will do ribs. They will do deep fried. They will do choma and everything. We serve you a quarter in all kind of made at 10,000. That means I'm going to be selling my kilo at 40,000. If my goat is 20 kilos, that is 800,000. If I sell only one goat per day. That means if I sell 2 goats, that would be around 1.6. But let me say I'm selling one and I'm getting 800,000 and I'm giving out 200,000 to my workers. So I'll be staying with 600,000. So 600,000 times a month, which is 30 days, I'll be getting 18 millions. If I slaughter 2 goats in a month, that will be 36 millions. I do not to be an MP. Be taking miss dancing for people, you know, people coming at my gate all the time because I'm their member of parliament. I don't need to be that. I'll be making my money directly from my place. I connect my farm, from my farm to the slaughter abattoir to the plates. That is the value addition that I'm going to do. So I have showed you the 3 markets that are readily available.
Sure.
And you can ably do it.
Okay.
Just imagine, Duke, you don't need to have a respect without money. You can put an outlet on the road and say, I'm doing Duke meat. You get it? And then you slaughter your goat, you roast it and give to people.
True. And they will definitely buy it.
From there, you'll be in a month, you're getting your 18 millions. Your 18 millions, you can buy a suit of 1 million. If you're out of your outlet, you go back and chill. Somebody says the guy is wearing a suit of 1 million and a shoe of 1 million. Is he a minister?
Definitely
of course no.
You're a farmer.
You're a farmer. You drive a car of 200 millions. That will be something very, very simple. Okay. So goats can really make money. And what I want these people to know, there is a lot of opportunities that we have not tapped in goat's meat. Because me here, people come and buy my dung at 500,000 a truck. And per week, I can put out around 5 trucks. That's also another money that we don't look at. You get it? So I even get my dung and put it in the grass. The grass is fertilized and grow at a high rate. I bring it, crush it, then I give it to the animals. So I'm doing the recycling. Or even if you have
excessive, you sell it to people.
Yeah, I sell. Because the garden can't finish all that. I have many animals that drops all the time. Even by the time we are talking right now, guys are really dropping dollars for Hermes. And some other thing I want you to understand is that we have not talked about. Actually, let me tell you one thing. On the money I'm talking about, I've not talked about the skin. I've not talked about the horns. I've not talked about the mandibles or even the teeth. The bones, they can all be crushed and they're all nutritious. So the whole goat, we can crush it and nothing we can throw away. But in my country, or in the Duke's country, we have not even talked about those other things. We are even just talking about meat, not even offals. You get it? So we still have a lot that we need to cover. We need to think for ourselves, not only you, because I see Duke, many people follow you from all over the world. Africa, I want you to understand this concept very, very well. Take it to be a serious concept. There is a lot we have not tapped. 2, the other market that we have, Duke, I want you to understand this. I have many farmers that have accumulated. We have the same vision. We are going to accumulate many animals and mostly hybrids because we are poor. We need money. A rich man is the person who will do local goats and he doesn't mind
care how long it takes. After all, he has the money.
You get it?
But if you're a serious business person who wants to get something out of it, you don't need to think the way you're talking about.
You get it? Every day I elapse in my life, I need to know how many animals are served at my farm. I need to know how many kids I'm supposed to get. So you can't tell me to reserve. I love local animals so much because I'm also a local guy here. But when I look at the financial line, I'm not making dollars. I cannot keep an animal for 3 years to give me 150. That needs government, that needs rich people, who really needs to see the color of black or the color of brown. Me, I'm not looking at the color, I'm looking at the finance.
True.
Because at the end of it all, I need dollars on the table.
Okay.
So some other markets that we have not handled, I want Duke to find out this. I don't know whether you'll have time. I want you to go to the supermarkets and tell me which supermarket packs goat's meat. We almost don't have it. Tuskies used to cook and put it there. It's no longer there. 2, it's also another market. Like the way you see people doing pork, people do chicken, people do
rabbit,
beef.
whatever.
We also need to have those outlets.
Sausage.
Yes, sausages. Where do you get the goat sausage?
I haven't eaten.
Is it haram? Is it bad that people can't eat it?
I haven't eaten any.
But why don't we tackle into that? That's also another market. So me, after that, I will have a number of farmers. We shall have grades of the animals. Those that have not performed well, though they are hybrids, we shall turn them into a roasting point. Sorry, a slaughter point. We slaughter the animals, we pack, take them to the supermarkets. You get it? And where we are going, me, I'm not stopping here. I'm thinking about of having a cooler, a mobile abattoir. We shall get the license from the government, then they give us the halal.
Then you move around as people buy.
You're a farmer. You don't need to go around looking for who should buy your animals.
True.
We only need to inform you that we need this amount of meat. Then we send you a slaughterhouse, so a slaughter car, mobile abattoir, comes to your farm, give us the number of animals that you have, we slaughter them there, we pack them, we weigh the kilos that you have produced, you are paid there and then. That is the step that I want to go on.
Wow.
I want to leave you with one other thing. Why do you think that Cafe Javas consumes a lot of meat, beef, fish, then chicken? Why doesn't he have goat's meat? That is a question for you. I want you to find out. I want you people to demand him. Find out that reason why Cafe Javas is not doing goat's meat. You find that there is a missing link that is supposed to be filled up by you or even me. You get it? So talking about the viability of goat's meat, I really have no idea. I have no answer for you. You already have it yourself.
Perfect.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we've made business sense out of goat farming. My name is Dennis Duke Onyala. See you in the next episode. I'm still here with Mr. Semanda today. Taina Jalaga. See you shortly.